Alright, welcome back to Steinsgate episode 34, where we last left off. Essentially, we're in the process of reversing Luka from a girl to a guy. And to make things up to her, we were going to go with Mayuri to apologize, but then we suddenly got a message to come to the shrine immediately. So there's some definite something going on that Luka knows more than she's letting on. So that's what we're going to investigate in today's episode. So if you like videos like this and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. Let me know down below what you want to see next. And without further ado, let's jump back into it. When I reach the shrine, I find Luka standing alone in the courtyard. She's dressed in regular clothes instead of her Miko garb. She still hasn't noticed me. Luka stands still in the silent courtyard. The only movement comes from the trees swaying in the summer breeze. It's like a scene from a movie. I stop and watch in fascination. Finally, Luka turns around. Our eyes meet. I awkwardly clear my throat and walk toward him, her. Luka bows her head.
来てくれたんですね。ありがとうございます。
We stare at each other in silence. Darn, this is awkward. I can't stand the silence, so I try to start the conversation.
Mayuri に何を話した？
すみません。でもこんなこと、まゆりちゃんにしか相談できなくて。
どこまで話したのかという意味だ。
ほとんどは内緒にしました。まゆりちゃんが死んじゃうっていうこととかも。
That's a relief.
まだ冗談だと思っているのか？
Luka shakes her head. She believes me?
大事な話というのはにゃんだしょうかにゃ。
I'm trying to be gentle, but for some reason I wind up talking like Ferris. I really don't know how to deal with Luka now that she's a girl. Luka takes a deep breath as if to prepare herself. Her face is turning red for some reason. She opens her mouth to speak, then closes it again. This continues for several cycles. What's wrong with her? Her tension is getting to me. My heart starts pounding like an alarm bell.
僕は。
お
お願いが。岡部さんが昨日言ったこと。信じます。
そうか。
So she's willing to go back to being a guy even though I hurt her feelings? For her to believe me in spite of that makes me pretty happy. But something strange about Luka, she still looks wound up pretty tight. In fact, it's gotten worse now. She looks on the verge of tears.
それで男に戻る代わりに。
In exchange, she wants something in return? I wasn't expecting this.
今日と明日、まゆりちゃんが危ないことになる前まででいいですから。
What is she talking about? My throat goes dry. I'm so tense, I don't know why.
だからになってください。
Oh?
よく聞こえなかったんだが、もう一度頼む。
Luka's voice was even softer than ever. So soft that I couldn't hear from her. No good, I still can't hear her.
はっきりと言ってほしい。俺にできることなら何でもするから。
コーヒー。
なんだって？
恋人になってください。
Huh? Boyfriend? It takes me a while to process the word. Meanwhile, Luka starts squirming and fidgeting. She refuses to look me in the eye. My heart is pounding. What's going on? What did she say to me? Boyfriend? Boyfriend. Boyfriend. She wants me to be her boyfriend until tomorrow. Huh?
なぜだ
Without thinking, I asked the worst possible question. Luka curls up even smaller.
好きだからです。
Her voice is as small as the buzzing of a mosquito, but it has all the courage she can muster. I feel my heart tighten at those words. Silence. More silence. Wait just a second. This is too sudden. I mean, maybe it's not sudden exactly. I've known about Luka's feelings since yesterday when Kurisu told me about the romance flag. But still, I didn't think it would come to this. My mind goes blank. I can't think straight. Luka hangs her head, waiting for me to answer. She looks so cute and innocent, I feel myself drawn to... No. No, no, no. That's wrong. That's just wrong. I'm not attracted to Luka.
考えさせてくれ2分いや5分だけ時間をくれ
I turn and flee like a scared rabbit. I'm so embarrassed I can't look back. 10 minutes later, I get back to the lab. Mayuri's eating a red bean bun.
オカリどうだったちゃんとルカちゃんに謝ってきたかな
そうだなジューシー唐揚げナンバー1をレンジでチンして D メールはつまり ABC と
およ
すなわち電子レンジはバラ十字団の思想を受け継ぐ騎士たちの錬金術が生み出したものでありチンとなる音こそが洗脳装置で実はチンとなる意味など全くなく
Alchemy, the art of taking one thing and transmuting it into another. In fiction and conspiracy theories, even human bodies and souls can be transmuted. However, the fundamental law of alchemy, equivalent exchange, must be observed at all times. In the Middle Ages, alchemists attempt to use chemical processes to transmute common metals such as lead into precious metals such as gold. Their efforts paved the way for modern chemistry. A secret society founded in 17th century Germany by Christian Rosenkreuz. Rosenkreuz was supposedly a practitioner of alchemy and black magic, but the legitimacy of this has been called into question. We are so close. I mutter incoherently as I set up the time leap machine.
何してるの
少しばかり戦略的撤退を図る
戦略
How far do I go? As far as I can, yeah, that's it. Far, far away from here. I'll jump all the way back to August 11th, the limit of the time leap machine's range. Okay, I guess we really are running. That's crazy to use that. When I'm done, Kirisu's standing before me, fiddling with the phone wave name subject to change his wiring.
立ちるからこっち見んな。何度言わせんのよ。
She's still working on the time leap machine upgrade. I know I shouldn't interrupt her, but there's nobody else I can rely on.
お前を天才脳科学者と見込んで話がある。
手短に。
柳林神社まで一緒に来てほしい。
理由を言って。デートとか言うつもりなら断る。
この俺がデートなどという軟弱なものをするわけがないだろう。ましてやその相手が女子とか冗談もほどほどにしてくれ。
She's glaring like she's gonna kill me. Let's leave the jokes aside for now.
つまり男の脳と女の脳の違いについてだ。
わけわからん。
I briefly explained my situation and what happened with Luka before I left. How many times have I explained this to Kirisu now?
岡部さんと牧瀬さん、今日はお参りですか？
Not exactly.
本実は漆原さんに話があるの。
This is the strategy I thought up. Its name is Operation Christina. Luka reacts differently to me. I already know she'll have a breakdown if I tell her she's a guy. But she's not too familiar with Kirisu and they're both girls, so it should be easier if Kirisu tells her. That's why I persuaded Kirisu to handle it. So I wait behind Kirisu and watch silently.
何でしょうか？
Luka is shy. He was distant with me back when we first met. And I can see she's made a small wall between herself and Kirisu now too. On the other hand, Kirisu's very calmly, truly reliable. Kirisu puts on a gentle smile and begins her explanation.
男性と女性で脳の働きって全然違うって知ってた？はい。
Hey.
男性は右脳が活発、女性は左脳が活発なの。ちなみに右脳は画像処理とか空間処理、あとは総合的な判断力なんかに使われる。左脳を使うのは言語、あと計算とかかな。そうそう、右脳と左脳をつなぐ脳量っていうのがあるんだけど、女性の場合はこれが発達してたりする。
So you came here just to tell me that.
ほら、よく言うでしょ、女性は2つ以上のことを同時にできるって。それは脳量が発達してるからだっていう説もあるわね。
What is she talking about?
まあこれはどっちかっていうととんでも科学に近い俗説であって、それほど信憑性が高いわけでもないんだけど、ちょっとだけ試してみてもいいかな。何をですか？あなたの脳が女性としてのパターンを示しているのか、男性としてのパターンを示しているのか、マッピングしてみたいの。マッピングって何ですか？
Luke is clearly frightened.
脳波マッピング。あなたの脳波をサンプルとして取らせてもらうだけ。とにかく調べればわかるって。ねえ、痛くしないから。嫌です。ほんと大丈夫だから。私が保証するから。ほらほら。
お前はどこの変態親父か。
I lightly chop Kirisu on the head.
何よではない。何のためにここに来たのだ。ルカ子を怯えさせてどうする。
私はただ彼女に貴重な被験者として。
帰れこのちっ子が。
ああ、そう。せっかく協力してあげたのにそういう扱いなわけだったら言われた通りに帰る。あとはあんた一人で頑張りなさい。
That's funny. Kirisu leaves the shrine with squared shoulders, muttering darkly to herself.
岡部さん、牧瀬さんは何の話を。
つまりだな。
Do I have to explain it myself after all?
お前は本当は男なんだ。
The result is the same, of course. I hear the tweeting of small birds outside the window. It's morning now. It's nice and cool. Okay. Too bad the cicadas are already chirping. The sun's not too strong yet. This is the second time I've woken up like this, though the date was different the first time. In any case, my mental state is exactly the same as it was back then. Through the front door, I hear someone stomping up the stairs. I jump up thinking it's Mocha, but then I realize who it is.
オカリン、あ、いた。
Mayuri enters and greets me with a disapproving pout. Originally, Mayuri was supposed to stay over at the lab, but last night she got a call from someone and left in a hurry. She probably went to see Luka.
マユシーはオカリンにがっ です。
Mayuri puffs out her cheeks and thrusts a finger at me. Of course. I sigh in frustration. Before I time-lapse, this happened on the 14th. Today's the 12th. Since I explained the situation to Luka early, it looks like Mayuri's protest came early too.
オカリンってばルカちゃんを泣かせたでしょ。ルカちゃんに相談されたんだよ。男だったって言われたって。オカリン、なんでそんなひどいこと言ったの？
これから会いに行ってくるから案ずるな。
そうなの？よかった。オカリンが謝らないって言い出したらね、マユシーはオカリンと絶交するつもりだったんだ。
Kind of a ride or die for Luka. That mail should come any minute now. Okay, I have something important to talk to you about. Please come to the shrine. If I go to Yanabashi Shrine now, Luka will confess her love and ask me to be her boyfriend.
恋人になってください。
But this time I thought ahead.
クリスティーナ！クリスティーナ！
I start yelling at the development room and begin to hear the sounds of someone moving inside.
クリスちゃん、寝てるの？徹夜なんだから起こさない方がいいよ。
I know, but I have to do this.
クリスティーナ！起きてきてくれ！
She's gonna murder us.
いいな。
Kirisu comes out of the development room with sleepy eyes.
クリスちゃん、トゥットゥルー。
Last night she fell asleep at the desk. The sleeves of her clothes left a mark on her cheek. Her hair is sprayed, her eyes are red. She rubs those red eyes.
なんなの？
これから柳林神社に行く。お前もついてきてくれ。オペレーションクリスティーナ2だ。
15日まで
Now it's 3 days with Luka.
まゆりちゃんが危ないことになる前まででいいですから。だからになってください。恋
Mm.
恋人になってください。
Same as before. Only this time I have to be her boyfriend for 4 days instead of just 2. I guess you could say it's a bold proposal. Fortunately, I came prepared. It's time to set up Operation Christina 2 in motion. Last time things got complicated when I added that experiment-loving girl to the conversation. This time I had her watch things from the shadows beneath the staircase.
すまん。ちょっとだけ待ってくれ。
I turn my back to Luka and call Kirisu.
よう、リア充。
お前人の気も知らずに何がリア充だ。今のルカ子の話聞いていたか？
今北産業。
聞いてなかったのか？
So quiet.
この遠さじゃ聞こえるわけない。
告白15日まで。そしたら男に戻る。
把握。でも何をいちいち私に相談することがあるわけ？漆原さんの願いを叶えてあげればいい。
だけど相手はルカ子だぞ。
どこが不満なの？あんなに可愛いのに。
しかし元
は男だったなんてのもあんたの妄想かもしれないし、私から見れば彼女は最初から彼女だった。観念しなさいって。じゃあね。
She hung up.
あいつ何のために連れてきたと。
What a useless assistant. I stuff my phone into my pocket and head back to Luka.
今の電話の相手って牧瀬さんですか？
Ooh.
ああ。
そうですか。なんだか今の岡部さん、とても楽しそうにお話ししてましたね。
どこかだ。
Is this pressure? Is she applying psychological pressure?
それで
Luka fidgets restlessly.
さっきのお返事を。
Please be my boyfriend. A 4-day trial relationship. Will those 4 days feel long or short? I mean, sure, Luka is cute. She's very slender and delicate, especially around the waist, and her skin is as white as alabaster. Even when Luka was a guy, I occasionally found myself mesmerized by his girlish demeanor. Biologically, the current Luka is a girl, so even if we do stop there, it shouldn't be a problem. But still, I'm on a mission to change Luka back into a guy. I need to accomplish that mission to save Mayuri. If I go out with the girl Luka and fall in love with her, then will I be able to treat the guy Luka like I used to? If I forget he's a guy and lose my self-control, it could result in complications. Going out with the current Luka isn't the problem. I mean, I still have my reservations, but cuteness is justice, right? The real source of my hesitation is the thought of what happens afterwards. The problem isn't Luka, but my own heart. Besides, I'm supposed to be saving Mayuri, not going out on dates. But on the other hand, Luka's cooperation is essential to save Mayuri. I won't get anywhere if I reject Luka and make her cry. For the sake of my goal, I must overcome the problem of my heart. I'll do it. I'll take Luka's deal. But if we're going to do this, I tell myself there's only one rule that you must follow. You must not fall in love with Luka. Even if it means trampling on her heart, you mustn't fall in love. Fall in love and you could end up walking the forbidden path. Luka is a guy. And don't you forget it. Just don't forget.
いいだろう。お前と付き合おう。15日の夕方までだが。
Tears immediately fall from Luka's eyes.
なぜ泣く？
嬉しくて、てっきり嫌だって言われるかと。よかった。よかった。
Her face is red and her eyes are wet with tears, yet she's really happy. Seeing her like this, all shy and embarrassed but happy at the same time, makes me feel... She's too cute. I mustn't fall in love, but I'm about to. Why does every single one of her actions have to be so cute? She must be doing it on purpose, there's no other way. Luka's cuteness is a terror of the universe.
岡部さん。
なんだ。
Luka wipes her tears away.
その明日で
Duh? What does she mean by duh?
デートに連れてってください。
なんだと？
A date? True, when a couple goes somewhere together, that's called a date. It would really be a dick move if I refused to go on a date right after we started going out.
行くのは問題ないが、どこへ行く？
Surprise me. Doesn't look like she's got a place in mind.
岡部さんの行きたいところに行きたいです。つまり岡部さんが好きな場所を知りたいから。
So in other words, she wants me to decide for her? It's really unfair to be so cute. People will forgive you for anything you say. I scratched my head and thought.
じゃあプランは明日までに考えておく。
For now, I just want to get out of this sickeningly sweet atmosphere that's brewing. We arranged to meet tomorrow morning, then I quickly leave the shrine behind. I breathe a sigh of relief as the sparsity of pedestrians on Menseibashi's bridge.
それで
Kurisu was walking behind me. She was completely useless.
結局付き合うことになったの？まあ漆原さんのリアクション見てたらなんとなく予想はつくけど。
お前見ていたのか？
岡部が見てろと言ったんだろ。
Oh yeah. I was expecting her to give me advice. Guess I should have known better.
明日デートだそうだ。
Kurisu makes a small nasal sound. She hasn't been making eye contact.
狂気のマッドサイエンティストさんって女子高生とデートしたりするのね。ちっとも狂気じゃないな。
Darn you, Kurisu. Must you always be so cynical? Let's just ignore her and get to the lab. But just as I quicken my pace, she grabs my shoulder and pulls me back. I almost fall down backward.
何をする？
ごめん。ちょっとイライラしてて言い方がきつくなった。
Kurisu doesn't tell me what she's irritated about. Instead, she starts rubbing her temples.
あんたはマユリを助けるためにこの選択をしたのよね。私も考え方を切り替える。で、明日デートするにしてもプランはあるの
？Date plans. I told Luka I'd come up with something by tomorrow. So far, I've made no progress. I can't help but feel uneasy about the whole thing, even though I'm doing it to save Mayuri.
どうなのよ。
This calls for Hoi and Kyuma.
助手よ、お前に一言言っておく。アイザック・ニュートンと同じく IQ170 に生まれついたこの俺、ホーイン・キョーマーは狂気のマッドサイエンティストである。
それで？
当然マッドサイエンティストである以上、興味があるのは女よりも研究であり、世界を陰で操る支配構造の破壊、混沌の創造であり。
どう見ても童貞です。本当にありが。今のは聞かなかったことにして。
おのれ女子風情がよくもズケズケと真実をついてくれたな。許さない、絶対にだ。
ごめん。
大体そういうお前はどうなのだ。俺に講義を垂れるほどにデート経験は豊富なのか。
I don't miss Christina's grimace.
それ見ろ、お前だって勉強や研究に明け暮れてそういった経験はゼロなのだろう。遠いアメリカの地で寂しい青春時代を送ってきたのだろう。うるさい、
バージンで悪いか。
Uno reverse.
秋葉の中心でバージンと叫ぶ18歳天才少女か。
I wouldn't be surprised to see it plastered across the blogosphere. Thankfully, it's early morning, but there are still a few pedestrians grinning at Kurisu.
場所を変えるわよ。
Kurisu starts to hurry away.
女の子との初デートで重要なのは相手に与える印象をいかに良くするかである。不潔な格好は論外。特に髪はきちんと散髪すること。長髪は汚らしく見えるので NG。 服装に関してもぴったり合ったサイズのものを着ていくこと。特に秋葉系の男子は大きめのサイズの服を好んで着ている傾向にあるが、これはだらしなく見えるので良くない。
Why exactly am I in a maid cafe getting date advice from my younger assistant who's also a girl?
初デートではお互いに緊張していることもあって会話が途切れがち。重要なのは会話のキャッチボール。一方的に話すだけでは相手が楽しいはずがない。特に女性は会話をするのが大好きなので、むしろ男性は女性の話を聞く側に回ってあげるべき。
Okarin became a mad scientist for Mayushi's sake, right? Maybe it's irresponsible of me to say. You don't have to act like a bad guy. Interesting. No new wallpapers either.
ただ聞くだけではなく、きちんと相槌を打つことが必要。そうすることで女性は話をちゃんと聞いてくれる人だと思うはず。つまりいつも通りの岡部じゃ全く話にならないってことね。とりあえず普通に喋ることから始めないと。あ、例のバカっぽい高笑いは当然禁止ってことで。そもそもあんたって女の子に優しくないのよね。普段の物言いが尊大すぎる。というか偉そうでムカつく。電波妄想も垂れ流すし。
デートマニュアル本を音読しているだけの文在で上から目線はやめろ、このメリケン少女めが。
Since neither of us know anything about romance, we're starting out at a dating manual we bought on the way here.
誰がメリケン少女だ。
お前以外に誰がいる？
はいはい、童貞オツ。知ってる？一度も侵入を許していない砦は頼もしくて、一度も侵入に成功しない兵士は頼りないっていう格言。
それは格言じゃないだろう。というか低レベルな争いにおいて勝ち誇るな。
確かになんだか虚しくなってきた。でもこのデートマニュアルって結構面白いこと書いてあるな。
Hirsu flips through the manual on the top of the table.
自分はさりげなく車道側を歩くとか、女の子にお金を出させるのは現金とか。いい？これ明日のデートで全部守らないとダメよ。
I wonder if I can really be that careful.
あとは清潔なハンカチを持っていくこと。女の子が公園のベンチに座るときはすぐに広げてあげること。
俺は世話係ではない。
そう書いてあるんだからしょうがないでしょ。ご飯は立ち食いそばとかファーストフードは避ける。ファミレスがボーダーライン。それ以上は自分の財布の中身と相談して。
ファミレスがボーダーライン。
Where are the family restaurants in Akiba?
待ち合わせ場所には最低15分前には来ておくこと。遅刻厳禁。
True.
15分前到着。
あとはデートコースね。映画館とか美術館、街をブラブラ歩く食事っていうのが無難だし。
なるほど、意外と地味なんだな。俺はてっきり初デートというぐらいだから夕焼けの綺麗なリゾート風海岸へ行き、そこでファーストキスを交わさなければならないのかと。
あ、それすごくロマンチック。じゃなくて童貞思考全開だな。ドラマや漫画の見過ぎ。
お前もな。
ちなみに相手は未成年なんだから、ホテルに連れ込もうなんて不潔なこと考えないでよ。
そうない。
That way lies forbidden lusts. Not to mention Luka's such an innocent girl. If I brought her to a hotel, she'd probably faint from shock.
ざっとこんなところね。どう？私のレクチャー少しは役に立った？
お前のレクチャーではなくマニュアル本のレクチャーだろ。
Anyway, strolling around town counts as a date, huh? In that case, I don't have to waste money.
にゃにゃ。今日誰かとデートするのかにゃ。
Paris comes to our table carrying drinks.
お待たせしました。アイスコーヒーになりますにゃ。
As usual, she pours in milk and syrup right in front of me. Kirsu watches this with great interest. I guess this is her first time at a maid cafe.
デート相手はマユシーかにゃ。
Paris winks at me playfully while stirring Kirsu's iced coffee.
なぜそこでマユリが出てくるのだ？
はにゃ。違うのかにゃ。じゃあ
Paris looks at Kirsu.
この子なのにゃ。
いや、こいつは助手だ。
Kirsu and I exchange glares sharper than a sword's blade. I swear sparks are flying.
じゃあ別の子なのにゃ。今日待ってばいろんな子に手を出しすぎだにゃ。ほう。いろんな子に手を出しすぎなのか。
何をバカな。
Well, I guess I did hug Ferris. But that was on the 14th, so when I time leapt to the 12th, it was undone. I shake off a pang of loneliness and return to the conversation. The next day finds me strolling around Akiba with Luka.
次はどこに行きましょうか。
Event 1, lunch at a family restaurant, is already complete. I took care of the bill and now we're back out in the heat. I've got the entire day planned out in my head. The next event is...
街をブラブラするぞ。しよう。
Success! It's Oban holiday, so Akiba is crowded. To avoid the crowds, we end up walking through the back streets. My plan is to walk with Luka all the way to Uno and back. That should be enough, right? I walk quickly. This conversation thing isn't going so well. I tried to follow the guide's advice and be a good listener, but Luka's silent by nature. She doesn't really start talking on her own. Even at the family restaurant, the words we exchanged were mostly just things like, it's crowded today, it's delicious, and it was delicious. And I think it was a mistake to just wander around, especially since we ended up in a residential area with no interesting scenery whatsoever. Luka speaks up. She's a few steps behind me.
なんだ。
I stop and turn around. Luka catches up and we start walking together again.
覚えていますか？僕と岡部さんが初めて出会った時のこと。
おう。
Of course, what I actually remember is how I met the male Luka. It was during Golden Week in May. I was searching in Akiba for materials to build a new future gadget when I saw Luka in his Miko garb, surrounded by some cameramen.
やめてください。無理です。
お願いします。写真を1枚撮らせてもらうだけでいいんで。
Poor Luka.
そのコスプレすごく燃えるっていうか、ここまで巫女服を着こなしてるレイヤー見たことないし。
これはコスプレじゃなくて。
できれば可愛らしいポーズ撮ってもらえるとめちゃ嬉しいんだけど。あ、じゃああれだよ俺。ミコミコオーバードライブのめぐみだ。
A magical girl anime with 5 Miko girls as the protagonists. Its target audience is adolescent girls, but many boys in their late teens or men in their late or in their 20s enjoy it too for some inexplicable reason.
来た！それ最高！めぐみたん知ってるよね？やってくれないかな？
知りません。すみません。
なんでそんな嫌がるわけ？コスプレして秋葉に来たのって写真撮られるためなわけでしょ？なのに嫌がるとかおかしくない？そうだよ。それとも俺たちがキモいから拒否ってるわけ？
違います。これはコスプレじゃなくて。
To be honest, the Miku garb fascinated me, because Miku are sacred, chosen to serve the gods. I know college girls are doing it for money these days, but as far as I'm concerned, that's sacrilege. As is demanding to photograph a sacred Miku. I couldn't let it pass.
そこのカメラ小僧ど
なんだよ君。
この俺を知らない。
What a funny first meeting.
今日の神が地上に具現せし灰色の脳細胞の持ち主にして世界に混沌をもたらす狂気のマッドサイエンティストだ。
何こいつ。マジ吉。
But it
それ
worked.
ぐらいでやめておけ。その巫女が嫌がっているだろう。
なんという中二病ですか。
They're one to talk.
かっこよく女の子を助けてセックルに持ち込もうとしてんじゃね。下心見え見え。俺だからドキュンは。
Of course.
ドキュンはお前たちだ。か弱い女子に男二人でまとわりつき天津さえ変態写真を撮りたいと懇願するとはオタクのプライドすら捨てたか。
いえ、僕は
聖なる巫女を怯えさせるカメラ小僧などではない。それは単なる変質者だ。お前たちに
True.
聖地秋葉を歩く資格はないと知れ。
なんだと。可愛い三次元女子をローアングルから狙うのはみんなやってるだろ。素人のくせにお高く止まるなって言いたいね。秋葉にコスプレしてきてる時点で無差別に取られても文句言えないでしょマジで。
違うんです。僕は男です。
Our jaws immediately dropped to the ground.
だから僕なんかとっても意味ないんですよ。
Luka murmured sadly.
マジで。そんなの嘘だ。こんな可愛い子が男のはずが。
男です。喉仏もあります。
Luka lifted his chin a bit, exposing his pale neck. That gesture was really sexy, but there was indeed a lump on his neck.
じゃあ下もついているんですか。
Poor Luka. Luka nodded reluctantly. He was already crying by that point. So were the cameramen.
なんだよ。紛らわしいな。っていうか男なのに巫女服着てるとかマジ吉だろ。取らなくてよかった。騙された気分だよ。
They left the place mumbling complaints all the while. Those guys were a disgrace to otakus everywhere. Daru would have said something like, "Someone this cute can't be a girl. Wait, you really aren't a girl? Awesome." Daru is the true otaku.
どうもありがとうございました。
ああ、いや。
でも僕みたいな男を助けてがっかりですよね。期待に添えなくてすみません。
お前、名前は？
漆原ルカです。
What a sweet way to meet someone.
なぜ俺に謝った？
だって僕こんな顔なのに男だし。
そんなことはどうでもいい。お前が男だろうが女だろうが関係ない。だがその悲願だ根性気に入らないな。
From this day forward,
ついてこい。お前にいいものをやる。 そのアイテムさえあればお前は勇気を得るだろう。お前の中に真の力の存在にも気づくはずだ。どうした？力が欲しくないのか？
いえ、力ですか？
そうだ。俺はお前に力を与えることができる。さあ求めろ、欲しろ、力を。カメラ小僧にも負けない。お前だけの力を求めるのだ。
まさかその後武器屋本舗に行ってサミダレを買ってもらえるとは思ってもみませんでした。
いや、
I didn't expect he'd actually come with me, but when he did, I realized that he had potential. That's why I bought him the 980 yen tax included demon sword. Afterward, Luka and I went through intense training to develop the Seishin Zama School of Swordsmanship. In retrospect, I can't believe I said all that ridiculous stuff. It makes me want to crawl into a hole and die.
とてもびっくりしましたけど、でも岡部さんがあの時言ってくれたそんなことはどうでもいいっていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。変ですよね、そんな言葉に感動しちゃうなんて。
Luka's cheeks then turned rosy pink. Her blush is too powerful. I have to look away.
でもその言葉があったから好きになったんです。
That's sweet.
え？
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a gosh darn second. Is she saying what I think she's saying? But that Luka was a guy. Does that mean I made that the guy Luka fall in love with me? My mind goes blank. Oh no. By the time I drop her off back at the shrine, I'm worn out physically and mentally. We ended up walking for hours straight, which was tiring, but my mental exhaustion is greater. In the end, we didn't talk much. We just walked.
今日はすごく楽しかったです。
そうか。
She's just saying that out of consideration. I can tell that she's forcing her smile. All through the date, I couldn't stop thinking about the time Luka fell in love with me, so I barely made conversation at all. That manual was completely useless. On this world line, Luka was a girl from the beginning, so Luka's memories of when we first met might be inconsistent with mine. But even with that in consideration, Luka's story still felt out of place.
それではその
A kiss? Luka fidgets as she whispers.
なんだ？
そのまた明日。
え？
She wants to go on a date again tomorrow? I mean, we are a couple and we are going out, and that means we like each other, and it's summer break right now, so it's natural to go on a date every day.
明日も岡部さんと一緒にいたいです。
どうも。
ダメですか？
ダメなんてことはない。うん、本当に。
よかった。
Luka smiles again. She looks so happy and relieved. Seeing her like this makes incomprehensible feelings well up inside me.
それじゃあまた明日。
I feel a huge weight on my shoulders. Another date tomorrow. Tomorrow.
トゥットゥルー、おかえり。
リア充は死ね。
When I return to the lab, I am greeted by Mayuri's smile and Daru's pure hatred.
まさか中二病のオカリンに彼女ができるとか。飯まずってレベルじゃねえぞ。
ルカちゃんとのデートはどうだった？
She must be feeling certain feelings.
まあなんとか。 ステージクリアしたかも。
Probably not actually.
ねえねえ、あさってのコミマ、ルカちゃんとオカリンでコスプレカップルとして出てみようって思ったりしないかな。オカリンからもね、彼氏としてルカちゃんを説得してほしいな。マユシーがどれだけお願いしてもね、ちっとも OK してくれないんだよ、コスプレ。でもラブラブなオカリンからお願いされたらね、きっとコロって OK すると思う。
Use your power.
断る。
なんで？
Because Komima is on the 15th. Mayuri is fated to die that night. How am I supposed to spend the hours before her death cosplaying at Komima?
正直なところ、デートの面白さがさっぱり理解できない。
ゲー、オカリンてめえ、それは世の中の童貞諸君を敵に回す発言だぞ。謝れ、童貞に謝れ。
だって考えてみろ、相手にひたすら気を使い、気まずい中で2人で歩き回って食事をして帰る。どうだ、面白い要素があるか？
オカリン、そんなこと言うとね、ルカちゃんが悲しむよ。
Mary's expression is uncharacteristically serious.
好きな人と一緒にいるだけでね、女の子は幸せなんだよ、満足なんだよ。男の子はそうじゃないのかな。だとしたらマユシーは寂しいです。
Why would that make Mayuri sad?
オカリンがマイノリティなんだよ。つうかデートって言えばエロイベントたくさんあんだろう。
お前は実にバカだな。
何言ってんだよ。手をつなぐとかマジエロくね？腕を組んでおっぱいを肘に当ててんのよ状態とかエロすぎっしょ。そしてデートの終わりにはキスして締めだろ。チキショー、リア充のバカ。
エロゲーのやりすぎだ。
ねえねえ、ルカちゃんはいつからオカリンのことを好きだったのかな。
いつからって、それは。
When we first
び
met.
っくりしましたけどでも岡部さんがあの時言ってくれた、そんなことはどうでもいいっていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。その言葉があったから、だから好きになったんです。
I think back on what she said. Something still feels off about her story. I said that Luka's gender didn't matter. I remember that clearly. But did I say that was because Luka was a guy?
そうだ。そうだよ。変だ。
Now I know what feels out of place. I wouldn't have said that to female Luka, so why does this Luka remember what I said back then? I recall what happened with Paris.
思い出したにゃ。フェイリスが叶えたのは、10年前に死んだパパを生き返らせることにゃ。
Paris regained her memories from before she sent the email. Could Luka too have remembered the previous world line where she was a guy? That would explain everything. However, she remembers that event and she said she liked me for it, so did Luka like me even when she was a guy? I think I need to check this out. The next morning I head to the shrine to meet with Luka. She's already waiting in the courtyard. When she sees me, she smiles and waves her hand. Too cute, must resist.
おはようございます。
なあ、うん。
今日はそのどこへ？
それよりルカ子。
はい。
I make up my mind and throw out the question.
お前には男だった頃の記憶が残っていないか？
Luka twitches for a moment, and then she hangs her head.
そんなことありません。
本当に？
Luka just nods stiffly. I consider a more forceful approach, but the words of that dating manual blaze inside my head. Whatever you do, don't make the girl sad. You might get dumped. If I get dumped, then what will happen to our 4-day agreement? Luka might refuse to turn back into a guy. No, Luka's not like that. Mayuri's life hangs in the balance, so I'm sure no matter what I say, she'll turn back. Or is it naive of me to think that? Either way, even though I'm doing this to save Mayuri, I can't just trample on Luka's pure maidenly heart. Neither one of us speaks. Mutual distrust, suspicion, discomfort. One word could shatter a temporary relationship. Luka's the first to break the suffocating silence.
ごめんなさい。今日のデート中止にしましょう。
Oh no. Luka, we can't cancel. Come on, Luka. Luka bows her head and goes back into the shrine office. I hurt her. I feel guilty, but at the same time relieved. I hate myself for it. Instead of returning to the lab, I stand on the bridge in front of the station and gaze blankly at the stream of people. Ferris might be visiting the lab. Ferris was at the lab on this day when I first came to the world line. My actions should have influenced Mayuri, so she should have called Ferris over to show her costumes. Right now, I don't want to see anybody. I need to think. But try as I might, no ideas come, no solutions. Luka agreed to go back to being a guy if I went out with her for a time. I've stayed faithful to that, so... Faithful how? I just made a huge mistake back there. I've done nothing but make Luka sad. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 15th, the day Kamima opens, the day Mayuri dies. At the very least, I need to make our relationship last until that evening. Tomorrow is the end. But I'm not confident I can show Luka a fun time. Alright, instead of fussing over a date, I'll just try something that won't make Luka sad. The next morning after Mayuri and Dara have left for Arake, I head to the shrine to pick up Luka. We hop on the train to Akiba Station. When she looks askance at me, I tell her we're going to see Mayuri. Today it won't just be the two of us. I don't know what to say when we're alone. I'm afraid I'll just hurt her again. It's time to try something different. And with that being said, that is the end of Steinsgate, episode 34. So we'll have to see what happens next time for the... I don't know if we'll make it to the end of Luka's arc or not by Friday's episode, or, you know, the next hour for me. So we'll see about that. So if you like videos like this and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. Let me know what you want to see next. And as always, thank you for watching. I've been Boog the Goob. May God bless you, and peace.